Hello and welcome to this episode of Neighbors Cooking. I apologize, we had some technical difficulties just a couple minutes ago. Joe said I can't blame him, so I won't. But you know, we're all old and sometimes there's technical difficulties and we have to try and figure it out. So tonight we are doing this amazing, authentic chicken tortilla soup. I wanted to continue the one pot event because last week the white lasagna soup that we did was so good. It was just amazing. Jacqueline loved it, Randy loved it, my neighbor Janet loved it, Joe took some home, I know he liked it. So it was pretty amazing. So we're going to continue that fall foliage feel and we're going to keep doing some one pot dishes. Tonight, as I said, we're going to do an authentic Mexican tortilla soup. So let's go over the ingredients first, and then once we get the ingredients going, we will start some of our processes. First things first, our recipe. I went to Costco and got a couple of rotisserie chicken. I wasn't sure if Joe was bringing guests with him tonight, but we've got our usual band of characters here. We got Randy, we got Jacqueline, we've got the infamous Joe behind the camera, and me. So we went and got a couple of rotisserie chickens. While they were warm, I shredded them. I pulled all the meat off and shredded it up once it was cool. I've got one red bell pepper. You could use a yellow bell pepper. You could use a green bell pepper. Whatever bell peppers you like. We're using red because we want some color in this dish. We've got some cilantro that we're going to dice up. On the top of it, we're going to do a little bit of lime juice, some avocados as some accompaniments. We've got some not roasted, but canned corn. So you could use canned corn. You could buy corn on the cob and cut it off if that's what you do. If you do get your corn on the cob and you cut it, once you use a serrated blade because it makes your corn on the cob come off a little easier. And then when you get the corn off, turn your knife over and I want you to hold the cob and I want you to milk the cob. I know that sounds really terrible, but you're going to take the end of the back side of your knife and you're going to milk all of that great corn flavor out of the cob. Jacqueline's over there covering her mouth and going, oh my. Nothing dirty, folks. It's just reality. That's what they call it, milking the cob. And we're going to take a couple of cans of roasted tomatoes. Now, you could use regular diced tomatoes. You could use roasted tomatoes, roasted with garlic. There's a plethora of choices that you could make in the grocery store. We're using roasted diced tomatoes. We've got one yellow onion that we are going to pay attention to, and we're going to saute. We've got our red peppers. We've got salt and pepper, about a tablespoon or to taste. We've got some smoked paprika. And if you don't know the difference between smoked paprika and regular paprika, here is what it is. It is a pepper that has been, a regular paprika is a pepper that has been dried and grated up to the powder. Smoked paprika has actually been smoked. The pepper has been smoked, it has been dried, and then it is grated up into the powder. We've got some cumin, we've got some chili powder, we've got about 3 cloves of garlic, and for Joe, we've got some jalapeños. That is going to go in the recipe, but I'm going to show you how to cut a jalapeno. Note to yourself, do not ever touch your face anywhere near your eyes when you have been working with jalapenos. You will regret it, you will cry, and you will be putting milk and water into your face for quite some time. I think a month or two ago, I had cut some jalapenos for something, and I mistakenly during the show touched my face and then had to put a smile on and get through the show, but it was painful. So wash your hands really well or wear gloves when you decide that you're going to cut up some jalapenos. We go everything, 4 cups of chicken broth, and we're going to put on top of that, when we get all this soup made, we're going to put some sour cream, we're going to put some avocados, so we got some nice ripe avocados, and we're going to put some crispy corn tortillas. So I want to start with that first. So I'm going to move a few of these things out of my way. Well, actually, yeah. So we're going to get these out of our way. And I'm going to start with my corn tortillas. So I just went and bought some regular Mission corn tortillas right in the grocery store. That's Benny wanting his treats. Go on, Benny. You know, if a dog loves your food, it's good food, right? Or maybe not, I don't know. So we're going to take our corn tortillas and we're going to make little crispy strips that are going to go on top of our soup. And I've got to get those into the oven. So I've already got my amazing oven preheated to 400 degrees. And I think this is the first time I've been able to use my oven since I got the new LG oven here and stove here. So I'm excited to actually get to work it. We're going to cut these into small strips. And once we get them all cut up, we are going to put them in the bowl over here. And we're going to put a couple of tablespoons of good olive oil over the top. Benny, I can hear you. Why don't you go visit Jacqueline? Go on, go visit Jacqueline. I'll give Jacqueline a piece of chicken if you go see her. And we're going to cut these up in half. Here you go, Jacqueline. Give that to Benny. Here, Benny, over here. Over here, Benny. Here we go. Give it to Jacqueline. There we go. All right, so we're going to take these tortilla strips and we're going to put them into our bowl. Corn tortilla. We're going to take some of our Gratz olive oil. I'm going to put it over the top, a couple teaspoons, and we're going to mix it up. This will work. I'm going to mix that up, get some olive oil on all of those strips. I'm going to take some salt. This is the salt I just got from my friend who was in Colombia from the salt flats. So we're going to put some salt over all of them. Mix it up one more time. And just for a little extra flavor, I'm going to take some of my paprika and spin those over the top. And I've got a convection oven here, so we're going to take our tray. We're just going to put these right on the top in a single layer. And you're going to put these into your oven for about 10 minutes. Keep an eye on them because these can go from crispy to burnt in a second. So we're going to put those in our oven. Alexa, set my timer for 8 minutes. And we'll let Alexa do the thinking for us while we get into the rest of what we're making. So I'm going to turn my stove on to a medium high light. Get it a little warm, a little over medium. So I use ironclad cookware, so it gets very hot, hotter than normal pots and pans. So it's stainless steel, cast iron, and ironclad, a hex clad over the top. So it gets unusually warm, and you want to make sure that if your heat calls for a medium-high heat, you probably want to start off with a medium because it's going to be a bit too much. We're going to put some olive oil into that in just a second. While it's warming up, let me put some olive oil in here. A couple tablespoons. Use good olive oil. It's not that expensive, and it will make the difference in your meal. I need another cutting board. Jacqueline's going to buy me a new cutting board because she complained about my cutting board a minute ago. So it's my Christmas gift. So this is a jalapeno. When you're cutting it up, you're going to cut off the top. You want to cut it in half. And inside you're going to find your pits and your seeds and your inner sides. I use a melon. You know, people buy so many tools that are one product supposedly turned towards this as a melon baller. I can't tell you the last time I actually balled melons. I don't have the time for it. So I'm using my melon baller. We're going to take it and just scrape out the inside, get all the seeds out, because really your heat is going to be from those seeds. And we're going to cut that out. And we're going to slice them up into small bits like this. I'm not going to cut them up right now, but I am going to rinse my hands off because I'm bound to touch my face to my glasses, and then I will be in a lot of trouble. So we've got this oil in here. When it starts to shimmer, you know that it's hot. So we're going to take our onions first. The sizzle. Love the sizzle. We're going to put in the onions. We're going to put in the jalapeños. We're going to put in our peppers. Again, these are pretty finely diced, you can see. And you can already see this color building that's going to be our tortilla soup. And that is all I'm putting into that right now. We're going to let those start to saute for a few minutes. While those are starting to go, I want to take a minute to talk to you all about what's happening with so many people in our community with food insecurity. You know, SNAP benefits may go away as soon as Thursday. And I know to many of you, SNAP only means that it's feeding people who are unfortunately financially unstable, but that's not true. There are people on SNAP and WIC that just need the help. I want you to think just for a minute how you would feel with your newborn baby or your little child or your teenage child or your grandparent or your parent who are not going to get to eat starting this weekend. We are looking at millions of people possibly starting to starve, and that is unacceptable in our community. So, here in our local community in the Coachella Valley, we have a lot of food banks. Find Food Bank is here, but from a local level, I would highly recommend while you're out shopping, and I'm going to put a list right on my Facebook and on our YouTube of the items that are necessary or that are lacking in some of our food banks. For us, here at Neighbors Cooking, we support the LGBTQ food bank from the center here in this valley. So I've gotten a list and we're going to add that to the list. It's simple things: canned tuna, canned ham, canned soups, the staples that are canned and stable. And while you're out shopping, just pick up, I think there's 12 items on the list that was sent to me. Pick up those 12 items, take them over to the food banks, donate them, and let's make sure that our community is not going hungry. It's frightening to me to think. So please support your local food bank anywhere you are in this country. I've been seeing people posting on Facebook saying that they're willing to help people just to message them and they'll go shopping for them. So let's keep our community fed. That's what this show is about. It's about community. And now is a time, more than any other time, if you have shared our videos, I want you to share them. I want you to get this message out. Help your local food bank. We can't let people starve in this country. We are far too wealthy of a country to allow that to happen. And it is time, I don't care what side of the coin you're on, Republican, Democrat, it is time that our lawmakers get back and they find solutions to the problems that we have. This is no one's fault, it's everyone's fault. And we need to make it clear that it is unacceptable in this country for people to starve. So please go out, support your local food bank. And that's one of the reasons we're doing these one-pot meals. These are inexpensive. You can do this entire meal probably for under $25, maybe a little less depending on how economical of a shopper you are. I just go shop because I'm lazy and I don't look for deals, but most of these things, canned corn, canned tomatoes, fresh cilantro, avocados, none of these are expensive. You can get your chicken at Costco for $4.99, $5.99 a chicken, so none of it's expensive, and you can make this meal on a budget. So we've got these sauteing away. Now I want to add the garlic because we don't want to add the garlic too soon because we don't want it to burn. So we've got about 3 garlic cloves that we're adding into that. And this is the base of our soup. Excuse me. We want the soup to have a little crunch to it. That's why there's not a whole lot that goes into it. It's the chicken broth, it's the corn, it's the tomatoes, and some of these fresh vegetables. It's very nutritious, very healthy. And let's look at our, oops, there we go, look. They're getting crunchy. Alexa, keep me on time. Don't. No, I don't need to know what time, Alexa. See, you say something and she just talks back to you. So once we've got these veggies going, nicely sauteed, we're going to add our dry spices. So we're going to put our chili powder in. This is a teaspoon. If you don't know, a tablespoon to a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons is a tablespoon. So we're putting in a teaspoon of chili powder. If you want a little spicier, you can put in a little more. We're putting in cumin, same amount, about a tablespoon. And we're putting in our chili powder, about a tablespoon. So we're going to let those all start to blend together. And I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I'm putting about a tablespoon each of the salt and pepper into this. You can put a little less, a little more. Again, it's to your taste. And we're going to mix that all together. Oh, and the smell is amazing. Alexa, stop. All right, so that is my warning that our tortilla strips are done. Look out, Benny. So we're going to let those crisp up for a couple more minutes. Some of them are really done on the edges, but we're going to keep letting them cook a couple minutes. So we've been building our spice, our flavor. Smells amazing. And I hope those of you who are out there that actually have this recipe in your repertoire and you make it on a regular basis, I hope that you like what we're making here today. I'm trying to honor our Hispanic community, and this is where it comes from. And we are in the Coachella Valley. This is a place where this is probably made in tens of thousands of kitchens on a weekly basis here. So I hope everyone likes the ingredients. If you've got some suggestions, I would love you to add them. And speaking of that, I love to share recipes. So next week, I've got a friend coming in from Indiana. Sorry, Suzanne. I've got a friend coming in from Indiana, and she and I are on such the same page. I had sent her a message telling her I wanted to do a recipe. She's coming in for next week's show, and she's going to be helping us at Palm Springs Pride for the weekend, and I'm so thankful that she's flying all the way here to help us. But I asked her if she had a chili recipe, and well, before I asked her that, let me go back. She sent me a message saying, I want to send you a special gift. And I was like, all right, here's my address, and sent it to her because I just moved into this house and she hasn't been here. And she said, I'm going to send you a special gift. I said, great. Can you share a chili recipe that is native to the state that you come from? And she was like, yes. And she sent me a picture of chili she actually had on the stove cooking at that moment, and then had to disclose that she was sending me those spices in the mail. So next week when Suzanne comes, we're going to be doing a one-pot award-winning chili recipe, and I can't wait to share that with you. So Suzanne, we are on the way. Oh, Joe's pointing at my stove. Thank you, Joe. And there we go. We've got these crispy, delicious tortilla strips that are going to go up on the top. I'm going to turn my oven off. Now, I know, Joe, you can get a good look at this. So look how deep and rich. Can you smell that, Joe?
Delicious.
Delicious. So into this, we are going to add our tomatoes. And you're adding juice and all out of the can. And we're going to add the corn. And this is, I'm making an unusually large pot because I know everyone's going to take some home. So I put in 2 cans of crispy corn. Or you can go to the lengths of cutting it off fresh corn on the cob. And then we're going to put in 4 cups of good chicken broth or bone broth. And we're going to let that start. I'm going to turn my heat up because I want it to get to boiling. And we are getting close to a finished product. So we've got 4 cups of bone broth in there. We're going to bring it up to a boil. There we go. And while that's coming up to a boil, we're going to cut our final pieces. Oh, I forgot to add one other ingredient. We do have sour cream, and we've got some Monterey Jack cheese. You could use American cheese, or you could use Colby cheese, which is a combination of Monterey Jack and American cheese. So let's start off with getting our cheese grated. Whoops, this is an unusually large block, and I probably don't need all of it, so we'll just cut it up into... For the sake of the show, I can't leave this cheese out to try and grate it because it's going to get too soft, so you want your cheese to be kind of easy to... And Monterey Jack's a relatively soft cheese, so you do want to keep it in the fridge. Well, for me, I want to keep it in the fridge because it is a streaming show, and by the time we get to it, it's going to be too soft, and it's all going to fall apart. And then Joe's going to be picking all the big bits off of my tray, like last week's.
Cheese tax.
The cheese tax. All right. So we've got our cheese going, and this is going to be what goes on top of our soup. So all of the things we're adding go on top of our soup. The cheese, the avocado, the cilantro, the sour cream. Those are all things that we're putting on top once we dish it up. Super delicious. So next week is Palm Springs Pride. And you know, it seems when we started our planning process 6 months ago that it was so far away. And now here we are, just a week from Pride. And we have some amazing things. We have some new entertainment zones. We're going to have a big Ferris wheel. Yeah, Ferris wheel. I keep calling it a carousel, but it's a Ferris wheel. So we're going to have a big Ferris wheel out in front of the Hyatt. We've got a bunch of stages up on Arenas and on Tockwitz, hosted by Oscars on Tockwitz. And everything's coming together. We always, you know, I've learned after 8-9 years of doing this that there's no sense in me panicking. We've got the volunteers we've got, and we're going to do what we're going to do. But I want to say a special thank you to our community partners. We've got Churrasco Brazilian Steakhouse. We've got 7-Eleven. We've got Jimmy John's. We've got the Desert Water Agency, who's giving us water. We've got, who else do we have, Joe?
Starbucks.
We've got Starbucks, and they all together feed... Oh, and Grocery Outlet, thank you. So we got Grocery Outlet doing hamburgers and hot dogs, and we're going to cook those up and barbecue them on Friday night. We've got Churrasco on Saturday night. We've got Jimmy John's for lunch the whole weekend. We've got pizzas on Thursday, and we've got fried chicken coming in on Sunday to help feed our dinner. It's amazing. Joe's done a great job. He's in charge of our food. After all, he did have a catering company for 20 years. He keeps telling me that every time. I'm like, is everything done? But we're so thankful to all of those community partners. They keep our volunteers fed, and I can't thank them enough. So please go visit Jimmy John's, 7-Eleven, Starbucks, Churrasco, Grocery Outlet, and tell them Palm Springs Pride sent you, because we are so thankful for everything that they give to us and donate to us. It is a mission of love, and our volunteers are so thankful. So thank you to all of them for all of the things they are doing for us. We've got our soup over here doing just fine. It is coming together. I want to give it a quick little taste. See how we're doing, to test for spices. I think we're going to add a little bit more chili powder into that. So I've got my ADD spice cabinet. You can see everything alphabetical lined up and looking at me. But I am a big spice person. I learned after being French trained that butter and cream was not everything you needed to cook, all right? The spices that you can use, you can eliminate so many calories and so much fat by using the right spices. You also don't need a bunch of specialty spices. For instance, allspice. Allspice is just 5 different spices combined together to make an allspice. So you probably have those spices in your kitchen, and so don't go buy specialty spices. Look up on Alexa, ask her what's in spice. It's literally 5 spices, and you probably have those in your cabinet. Stop wasting money on spices you're not going to use on a regular basis. I went out and got some great avocados. I just love avocados. invited Randy tonight, like I invite him every week. I told him what we were making. He had no idea what tortilla soup was. But as soon as I said avocados, he said, lots of avocado. So we're going to make Randy happy and give him lots of avocado in his part of the soup. So when I cut an avocado, I just cut it in half. I take a big spoon, I bring it into, and I just follow around the outside of our avocado, and there you go. Simple. You get it all out, and your hands don't get so crazy messy. But of course, it helps if it is a ripe avocado. How do you tell ripe avocados? By the feel. They shouldn't be too mushy. They shouldn't be too hard. Think about when you're going to use them, because once they start to get ripe, they are ripe, and there is no turning back. If they're not ripe when you want them, and you want them to ripen up faster, put them into a paper bag, and they will ripen up a little bit quicker for you. There we go. And there's our last one. Whoops. Always works on everything but the last piece, right? So let's just peel that off. There we go. The skin should come off very simply when you're cooking it. I mean, when you're pulling the shell off. If it doesn't, it's not ripe. The other thing that we're going to put into this after we cut these up are some cilantro and some lime. So the avocado you're going to dice up, into fairly good sized slices or dices. Just cut them up. This is not a meal that you have to do a lot of chewing on. It shouldn't be a meal you have to do a lot of chewing on. The biggest pieces you're going to have are the shredded chicken that we're going to put in. And I think that's enough to get us started. I'm going to take a lime, different knife, cut our lime up, because we're just going to put a little bit of lime over the top when we squeeze it out on top of the soup. And I think we are just about ready to serve it up. So I'm going to let that just boil up a little bit longer. This is not a thick soup. This is supposed to be a watery soup, I suppose, is the best way I can put it. But let's put it together. So we're going to start off with some of our shredded chicken. Put that in the middle of our bowl. Beautiful. We're going to take some of our soup base, and we're going to spoon that right over the top. Make sure we get lots of soup. There we go. Look how delicious that looks. We're going to take a dollop of sour cream. We're going to take some of our avocados. Put them on the side there. Some of our cheese over the top. We're going to take a little bit of cilantro, and you can just hold the stem and pull it down, and the cilantro should come right off for you. You don't want the stems, or just put a little bit. And what am I missing? Oh, a little bit of lime juice. And I think we'll have Joe come, since I don't have any guests tonight.
All right.
All right. And be our taste tester. So there you go.
Wow, it's beautiful. Sorry, Jacqueline, I'm getting this now.
Hot.
Oh, it's really fresh.
It's a beautiful dish, and we did it in under 30 minutes. And thank you for wearing your shirt that supports our local police department. Yep, there we go. Andy Mills, our chief of police, is an amazing police chief. I've lived in many communities, and I'm sure there are some chiefs in some communities just as good as Andy. But for our community, in our city, he is just the best, and his wife and he are constantly out and about, so thank you. I was actually last week at our flag raising on Arenas, and Kathleen Mills was walking down the street past one of the bars, and everybody started applauding, and she was like, hi. So she is certainly our police queen here, and we love her and we thank her for everything she does in our community, and for the chief and for our Chief Alvarado from the fire department. They are truly our heroes, all of our officers. So support our police departments, support our fire departments, and remember to get out and support our food banks. It is so important right now. So that about wraps our show up. Next week, we have Suzanne Frottenberry coming from one of our pride organizations in Indiana, and I'm so excited to have her, and I can't wait to share the award-winning chili that she will be sharing next week. Until then, I hope that you all have a great week. Remember to take care of each other, and there is always a place for you at our table. Have a great week. Bye.